The year is 1814. Europe is exhausted. Years of hard fighting have scarred the continent. Warlands stretch from Spain to Russia. Fields in Spain burned and trampled. Villages in Russia frozen and ruined. Cities took sieges. Walls cracked under cannon fire. Harvests were lost. People went hungry. A whole generation grew up with fear and loss. Napoleon, the great disruptor, is finally beaten. He is sent away into exile. The guns fall silent. But a bigger question hangs in the air. The war is over. Now what? How do you rebuild a broken continent? Borders vanished. Crowns fell. Old rulers were pushed aside. New ideas rose: revolution, liberty, and nationalism. People wanted stability. Leaders feared chaos. Doing nothing could bring more war. To answer the big question, Europe gathered in Vienna in the autumn of 1814. This was a giant peace conference, not just two sides, but almost every state in Europe. For months, Vienna became the world's political capital. Carriages brought diplomats, princes and kings, day and night. The palaces hummed with many languages. There were balls, banquets and shows. It looked like a festival of diplomacy. But real work happened on maps and documents. Treaties were drafted and signed. Deals were often made in side talks over wine or a walk. Committees debated for months, from September 1814 to June 1815. Delegations from over 200 states arrived with hopes and demands. Every decision could shape Europe's future. Emperor Francis I hosted the Congress. His foreign minister, Prince Metternich, guided the meetings. They believed peace should be built by talking, not by force. Four figures led the way: Metternich, Castlereagh, Tsar Alexander I, and Talleyrand. Metternich of Austria was the host and main voice. He feared revolution and wanted steady rule. His goal was simple: stability. He backed strong monarchs working together. Britain's Lord Castlereagh thought long-term. As an island empire, Britain cared about trade and peace. He wanted a balance of power, so no one state could dominate again. He worked to keep the big powers united. Tsar Alexander I came as a hero who helped beat Napoleon. He mixed idealism, faith and ambition. He wanted more sway, especially in Poland. France sent Talleyrand, a master at reading the room. He came from a defeated nation but used sharp diplomacy to win respect. By playing rivals against each other, he got France a real voice. Together, these men shaped the talks and set the tone for peace. Two guides led their work: legitimacy and balance of power. Legitimacy meant restoring old royal families. Balance of power meant no single state should tower over the rest. These ideas pushed back against recent chaos and returned to tradition. Leaders thought this would be fair and stable. Metternich and Talleyrand backed legitimacy most strongly. They put old dynasties back on thrones. In France, Spain and Naples, the Bourbons returned. Traditional rulers were restored across Italy and German lands. With the principles of legitimacy and balance of power established, the delegates turned to the monumental task of redrawing the map of Europe. Their decisions were codified in the final act, a sweeping document that would define the continent's political geography for decades. Borders shifted, entire kingdoms were created or dissolved, and a new European order began to take shape on parchment. Thanks to Talleyrand's brilliant diplomacy, defeated France was not dismantled. It kept its status as a great power, a crucial component for a stable continental balance. However, its revolutionary and Napoleonic conquests were stripped away, returning France to its 1792 borders. To prevent future aggression, the Allies strategically ringed France with stronger neighbours. To the north, the United Kingdom of the Netherlands was formed, merging the Dutch Republic with the former Austrian Netherlands. To the southeast, Sardinia-Piedmont acquired Genoa, strengthening its position to guard the vital Alpine passes. And crucially, Prussia gained the populous and industrially promising Rhineland, creating a powerful German state on France's eastern border. This move firmly anchored Prussia in Western European affairs, making its security dependent on the stability of the region. Austria, in turn, compensated for its loss of the Netherlands by gaining rich and strategic territories in Lombardy and Venetia, cementing its dominance in Italy. Meanwhile, Swiss independence and perpetual neutrality were formally guaranteed by all the major powers. Each of these moves was a carefully calculated piece of a grand puzzle, designed to lock in the balance of power. But the most contentious issue, one that nearly shattered the alliance, was the fate of Poland and Saxony. Russia's Tsar Alexander I, whose armies had been instrumental in defeating Napoleon, demanded the lion's share of Poland to create a new kingdom under his personal rule. This alarmed Austria and Britain, who feared such a massive expansion would make Russia dangerously powerful. Complicating matters, Prussia supported Russia's claim on the condition that it be allowed to annex the entire kingdom of Saxony. For a moment, a new war between the Allies seemed imminent. Seizing the opportunity, Talleyrand aligned with Britain and Austria, signing a secret treaty to oppose the Russo-Prussian plan by force if necessary. Faced with a united front, Russia and Prussia backed down. The final compromise saw Russia receive a smaller Congress, Poland, while Prussia gained about half of Saxony, in addition to its new territories in the Rhineland. When Napoleon's conquests shattered the old order, he dissolved the ancient Holy Roman Empire. After his defeat, Europe's leaders faced a monumental question. What should replace it in the heart of the continent? German nationalists, fired by the wars against France, passionately argued for one united Germany. But the great powers, especially Austria and Russia, feared a powerful unified Germany would dominate Europe and upset the delicate balance they had just restored. Their compromise was the German Confederation, a loose association of 39 sovereign states. Its Federal Assembly met in Frankfurt, was permanently presided over by Austria, and possessed very limited powers. Its main functions were to coordinate defence and, crucially for the conservative monarchs, put down liberal revolts. It kept order without building a strong central state. This spirit of compromise extended beyond Germany. The victors established a new habit: to meet again whenever trouble arose. This system became known as the Concert of Europe. The four main allies, Austria, Prussia, Russia and Britain, and soon a restored France, agreed to talk first. Instead of rushing to war, they held diplomatic conferences to manage crises. When revolutions broke out in Italy, they met at Troppau and Laibach and authorized Austria to intervene. When a liberal government took power in Spain, the concert empowered France to cross the Pyrenees and restore the old monarchy. And in 1830, when the Belgians revolted against Dutch rule, the powers met in London and created an independent, perpetually neutral Belgium. This system of collective diplomacy, while repressive, successfully kept the great powers from fighting each other for nearly 40 years. It was an early, imperfect model of shared security, where peace became a shared responsibility. The Vienna system was not perfect. It was built by conservative elites who valued order over liberty. Many borders ignored peoples and languages. Poles lived under Russian rule. This planted seeds of future unrest. Nationalism and liberal ideas still grew. Yet, from 1815 to the 1850s, the great powers did not fight each other. For nearly a century, Europe avoided a continent-wide war. Peace helped economies grow. Science advanced. Railways linked cities and markets. Population boomed and cities grew. Stability made trade and investment safer. Later, nationalism united Italy and Germany. Rival alliances and an arms race hardened lines. In 1914, talks failed and Europe fell into the Great War. So, after all the parties, politics and redrawn borders, what is the ultimate story of the Congress of Vienna? It's a story of a continent at a crossroads, a moment of profound choice. Weary leaders, haunted by decades of relentless war, stood amid the ruins of an old order and deliberately chose to build something new, something stable. In a radical departure from past treaties, they aimed not for vengeance or punishment, but to forge a peace that could genuinely last for generations. They were conservative men, aristocrats of a bygone era, yet they were united by a thoroughly modern goal. No more continental chaos, no more Napoleons. They understood that a lasting peace isn't a prize to be won, but a delicate structure requiring constant care and attention. Their innovative answer was the Concert of Europe, a system of collaborative diplomacy. Guided by the twin principles of balance and legitimacy, they carefully redrew the map to prevent any single nation from dominating the others. They proved that patient conversation and compromise could be far more powerful tools than cannons and cavalry. In their most forward-thinking move, they brought the defeated France back into the fold, recognizing that a stable Europe required an included, not an isolated, France. They managed their rivalries by writing and meeting, not by charging and shooting, establishing a new precedent for international relations. Of course, their world couldn't last forever. Later, the powerful forces of nationalism and democracy would reshape Europe in ways they never imagined. But the core idea, that of collective security achieved through open talks and shared responsibility, still matters profoundly today. The Congress of Vienna was more than a treaty. It was a peacemaker's blueprint. With maps and ink, they engineered a remarkable long peace that, despite its flaws, shaped the course of a century. Their enduring lesson is a simple one. Steady, committed dialogue is the greatest tool we have to keep the peace. If you enjoyed this journey into diplomatic history, explore the wars that started it all in our previous Napoleon video. And to make sure you don't miss our future explorations, please don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe button.